After an explosive match from Envy over on Cobblestone, we are going to be back for the action on Overpass. I'm Harry, with me is Risk, and once again, it's the best of 3 decider game between Envy and KPI. Already we can see that KPI didn't fare too well over in map number 1, but hopefully things are about to change heading into their map pick.
Oh yes, surely. This has to be the map where they kind of takes the stand and says, okay, we have to actually do something now, because there wasn't a lot coming out of them. There was some good potential. We saw some highlights, a couple of individual actions, and good team chemistry and good team communication and strategies, but it just wasn't enough, especially when all the players on EnVyUs are just firing on all cylinders and happy is almost top frag, and then what can you really do? Yeah,
Envy did look fantastic. Now, heading into Overpass, as we said, that's the map pick of KPI. Curious to see if that is going to make much of a difference. And you know, personally, I like the KPI guys. I think they're pretty fantastic. I think they've got a decent bit of potential behind them. It's just Envy are clearly firing on all cylinders right now. You know, they're not the same Envy that we saw yesterday. They look like an entirely different team. It's determination, not sadness, we're seeing in the eyes of Happy.
And that seems to be like a thing for a couple of these top teams that have a problem that they start really slow, and then they gradually work themselves into the level that they want to hit for like the final state. But it takes them a bit of time, and sometimes even mess up on day 1. This is what we're seeing from Envy right now.
I mean, even when you look at that, the highest level, SK are fairly similar, right? They come into tournaments, and then they, you know, sometimes they'll lose up against teams, and you're just like, how does this happen? And then they'll go on to win the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, for KPI, it is going to be an uphill battle. There's no denying that fact. They're coming into this being the underdogs, but they have got the crowd, the home crowd here in Valencia, rooting behind them. And that's fairly fantastic. Here they are up on screen to jog your memory, Envy. Down on the bottom, friendly faces, KPI as well, looking determined, looking like they want to try and pick this up. Alex, I can't tell if Alex is shorter than everyone else if the camera's higher. I really hope that he's quite short. That'd be good. But anyway, all of that out the way, we're going to be heading into map number 2 in this best of 3. KPI over on the CT side, Envy kicking things off on the T side, and without any more delay, let's get straight into this pistol round.
This is really interesting from KPI. 2 flashbangs and 2 smokes, but EnVyUs, they're doing a quick A push.
Yeah, going to be charging in. Alex, the first man to pick this up, and Q pivots back on the spot, fighting for his life. He's caught out in the open, and it's going to be shut down now. Mopos not alive too much longer as everyone from KPI get completely slaughtered. Drugnov in the 1v2, spots the man out, but XMS quick on the trigger, pivots on the spot, and drops him up in heaven. That's going to be the pistol round going the way of EnVyUs.
I wonder if this is something that EnVyUs and the coach have actually been looking at and looking at how KPI plays their CT pistols on this map, and that they tend to do smokes and more utility and play around that, play more defensively, and to counter that, they just go for a quick A push, 1 smoke, 1 flashbang. And that's actually really nice. I think that could be the case. It works out for them here, also thanks to the godlike game of the players in the team, and they're trying the exact same once again here, but this time it's just Happy, and he's faking this kind of aggression towards that B bomb site, while the rest of the team are stacked way back, almost towards T-spawn, and just waiting there. The bomb is even dropped right now. So right now they're just making sure that KPI aren't pushing, they're not getting any extra map control, and they're holding that in their own hands as the rest of the team are moving up towards long A.
Yeah, they're slowly but surely pushing up through long. Alex about to meet Happy. I'm not sure if he's aware of that fact, though, as currently he sits on sandbags. Alex has to watch out because he's getting ever closer to the danger zone. Of course, short right now is the highway to the danger zone as Alex, he's gonna go down. There we go. Alex hits the deck. Happy now leaps into action, but is gonna fall within the B-bomb site. The rest of his team try to now seize control of A, but they have to worry about Drugnov and the gang over in mid. Mopos within the site, gonna go ahead and drop out Sixer. And now he's just playing around in the smoke, going to try and remain hidden as they have to try and deal with him. Players at all sides, XMS and Scream doing what they can to try and pull this one back. Have put into a 2-on-2. And Scream's now rotated up through long, but Mopos, these players tagged down so low, it's so easy for him within the site. Going to get himself a second and the third. Too much to bear over at long for Scream as he will go down, and that's KPI in with their equalizer. Going to go ahead and steal the Antico. The force buy prevails.
Yeah, that's just an example of how good the CZ75 and pistols in general just are close range. If you can just dance back and forth like behind structures like this and just utilize the close to medium range of that pistol, then it can take out AKs, and it does look a little bit weird, but it makes it work in the end. KPI grabs the round 1-1 right now. MP9 coming in from DonQ, rest of the team are going to be on the rifles. EnVyUs, on the other hand, almost Tech 9 train is definitely pistols for them, but there's some armor and some investment behind this.
Yeah, they're looking as to what the A-bomb site has in store. Unfortunately for them, it's Mopaz with an M4, and he's going to be cutting these guys down. He wants a little bit more. They just keep lining up for him. So, of course, he's going to go ahead and take that. It will be one. It's Dragunov locking this down from Truck to finish off the last two. KPI going to go ahead and succeed in taking the consecutive round, and now we finally see Envy with a broken economy. Should be a guaranteed third round here for KPI.
And this is also what KPI needs. They need the confidence and they need the momentum of a game in order to take this 1-3 and potentially having a chance of winning this, because everything else talks in the favor of EnVyUs, but if KPI can get those two factors in, then they have a decent chance. And right now, they have the economy and therefore also the momentum of the game with them, and the confidence is slowly coming in. Very important that DonQ and Mopaz really get going. It's starting right now, slowly but surely. 2-1 is the score right now. Happy coming back with the deagle though, taking down Alex off screen. Too violent to show you guys. And now Mason here with the AK also gets taken out. 1-for-1 trade quickly with the refrag.
Yeah, but for the time being, Envy do have that man advantage. Dragunov's pushed up over in toilets. The only issue being is this does leave him prey to these pistols at closer ranges. They've juggled the AK onto XMS. Happy going to dodge that shot. That could have been the equalizer found, and now you can see Donkey isn't too keen on the idea of re-peeking this. Up against the Deeg on Happy. Is going to be holding the fort, but it's a dangerous game to play. He takes the peek, and Donkey will be able to finish him off. Now we're into the 3-on-3. As this gets pulled back into equal territory. Envy's still got that AK up on XMS. It looks like the B-bomb site going to be the site in question. Mopaz is already here for KPI. It's just a question of when Envy decide to go in. They're going to go ahead and throw the smoke into heaven. Push about to come through, counteracted. With that flash on shot, Mopaz is rotated into the site to exert that much more pressure. Down goes 6, so that's the bomb drop. Going to be retrieved, and Screaming with the D gets himself one, but they still have to deal with DonQ, who's just tapping away, makes it look easy. And that is going to be the 3K, the hat trick for him in that round.
That's the question now. EnVyUs going to be buying up here. All AKs. No AWP on T-side coming out for them, while Dragunov will be equipped with his favorite, surely, on the CT side, as we do see DonQ's highlight coming in. And there we do see Dragunov with the AWP on the T side, missing smoke on Happy, Molotovs on multiple players. So this is definitely not 100% setup for EnVyUs, but we've seen them work with way less than this. Defensive setup to begin with, taking control over one area, and that is the connector and towards short. Not really pushing towards those A angles. Concentrating on the B setup right now, as we see RPK slowly but surely making his way in to assist Happy with this part of the map. And they go for the boost. Taken out before that can happen, though. Refrag instantly by RPK.
It's going to be the 4-on-4. Looking at Mason. He could be a bit of a difference maker. He's all the way up in party.
He's going to hear them.
Yeah, here's those players rotating over at long. He's going to get a lot of information. Even if it doesn't lead to anything, he's going to have a very good idea as to where these players for Envy do reside. He's going to make the call, and Dragunov that turns his attention out towards long. Alex going to be able to drop out RPK, but XMS, okay. Mason playing it sneaky, only gets one as XMS is on fire. Gets himself a second now. Just tapping away. This could have gone very, very wrong for Envy, and XMS has done everything in his power and more to keep this on an even playing field. Now Mopaz going to step up, finally deals with the threat that is XMS. It's going to be the 1v2, but it's left in the hands of the man himself, Scream. Going to go ahead and pick up that bomb. Now it's just a question of where does he go. Only 20 seconds left. Has to make his mind up, and I think only the A-bomb site is close enough here. He's looking dedicated, but there's a player up in toilets. He's just going to completely bypass him. Alex is in the back line, and Scream's completely unaware. Down he goes. And that's KPI with their fourth.
Yeah, they should have had that even easier. The two shots that XMS was hitting was absolutely insane. They even had Dragunov with the AWP having the information, rotating in, and XMS still wins that duel. And then the second shot turning around, getting that whatever flavor of Monster Energy that guy's drinking. I'm going to have one after this game. Because apparently if you can do things like that, then I'm going to have it.
I'm just going to let that one hang for a minute.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, anyway, here we go. Look,
like
there's the tactical pause being called in from EnVy. It makes sense for them to try and get it in earlier. That's something I like to see. I mean, even though we're kind of playing this with a little bit more kind of limited pausing than we're used to, I think, you know, they do get a longer pause, however, so they have a little bit of time to actually talk this one through. And it makes sense to get it sorted early on. You don't want to leave your problems just to build up. That's good life advice as well, actually.
I'm going to let that one hang.
What was that? Are you okay?
Hang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did not understand.
It's a very, very strange Danish accent, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But to be honest, I agree. Like, to get those problems fixed before they become bigger problems, like being behind 1-4, that's okay. They can easily come back from that. But if it becomes, let's say, 6-1 or 8-1, then EnVy will be in trouble, and they will be in a position where they might not have a chance of coming back. So I agree on that statement, taking that time out, and that's why you have a coach. Team EnVy is listening to him right now and finding out the solution.
The KPI. It's going to be a good start. They've got themselves 4. We've already seen them beat EnVyUs once in the original best of 1 that they played, and now we're going to see if they can do it in a best of 3. They've already lost the first map, so they're going to be standing on their last leg, as it were, but there's still time left for them to pull this one off. They're in with 4. EnVy have made the decision to go for the force buy. They've got armor up behind these pistols, a nice bit of utility to play with as well. DonQ spotting any aggression up through short as the Molotov fades. He's actually going to now make the decision to stop peeking, and that will allow EnVyUs to get some players short side. Alex is holding here over at long. 3 players here for EnVy. Going to be on a lot on his plate. They do decide to go pushing on through. Smoke starts to dissipate. 3 players for KPI in this B bomb site, so it will be the most stacked of the 2, and EnVy coming in with the push, going to charge on in. DonQ falls within the site, and Alex is completely flashed. There's players all around him, but he can't see anything as EnVy go charging on in. They've turned this on its head. Mason trying to pull things back from the brink of defeat, does manage to get himself 1, but he's still got more to find. Bomb's gone down, 2 players in the retake, catches XMS unaware. The flash will land, and he's stumbling around in the dark. Scream finishes him off, leaving this on Dragunov at a 1v3. Gonna make the decision to save this AWP. Looking to try and find some exits. Not going to be the case. Plays this one safe, and that's EnVy now in with a second round on the back of a force buy.
Yeah, on the back of a pause as well. Really nice call there, going for the timing pistol with utility play. We really saw how big of a difference Flashbang can make in this kind of round here, because 2 players were just straight off flashed when the T players came running with their pistol, and they're even going to take out Dragunov's AWP, bring that into the next round. That is pretty much the perfect scenario coming in for EnVy off that pause. They come in with nothing but pistols and utility, catch the 1 guy on the bomb site, and the 2nd guy hiding in water will be taken out as well, and that's just perfect for EnVyUs.
Yeah, perfect for EnVyUs indeed. You didn't think it could get any better, but it does. KPI have no money left, so looks like EnVyUs should be able to pick themselves up a 3rd in this scenario. It's going to be the case that they spread out early on, want to try and take map control and disallow any aggression to come through from KPI, but other than that, they're playing it very, very passively. RPK sits in connector. That's to keep an eye for any rushes that KPI might throw their way. They're going to hold mid, and they did have Happy over at the B-bomb site, but he didn't spot anything early on. And with RPK being in connector, you don't really need him to watch short. You can let him take control. That, to me, just immediately suggests that EnVy are going to be playing for the A-bomb site.
So the plan is... Mason is definitely in a good position if they decide to go for that A-bomb site, as you say, and they have 2 players for the backup for the refrags. If he goes down and does, let's say, 50 damage, then they can easily push that out. Let's see how this is going to happen. Right now, it's looking pretty much like a standard split coming in for EnVyUs. Bomb staying back because they don't want to show that right away. Want to use their utility to slowly and surely get in towards that bomb site. And here we go, first man going down. Refrag coming in, but RPK is around his back, takes him out. Now P250 with DonQ.
Yeah, but they're going to think it's clear. Oh, he tries to... He's already shot him, so I don't know what he was going to do. Thinks he maybe got away with it. DonQ continues his reign of terror, but will be finally put to bed by Happy. Mopos, all that remains, going to charge through the fire and flames. Fighting for his life. The flash lands, and Mopos in with 2. Happy's tagged down solo within the site, and this could be huge right now for KPI. Happy one shot away from going down. The AWP up on Six is over at long. The bomb is going to be planted for toilets. He has to move swiftly, and Six is holding it down, but he misses the shot. That's going to open things up, but Sixer gets the situation back under control. Happy with his hands off the keyboard. He looked terrified.
That was too close to comfort, to be honest. Flashbangs coming in with the timing. That's a perfect flashbang, to be honest, for those two guys. He probably thought he was going to catch one guy behind the truck. He's lucky and doubles up, gets both of them. But in the end, even though with a missed AWP shot coming in from long, he's still not able to catch it. EnVyUs grab yet another round. And this is something that I was looking at the money early on. We do see two of the players being forced into the UMP45s, and Mopos in a position where he can only afford the M4 with a smoke grenade. He's already used that. So this is not a perfect setup for KPI. And I'm wondering why they bought a couple of pistols in that last round, because they had no money to spend. We can see that now being a big problem for them. Only one of the players on full utility, and he's with the UMP45.
Yeah, that is going to be Dragunov up towards A. He's got the defuse kit. Happy spotted you out there up in heaven. The peak comes through and Mopos goes down. Envy kickstart this round. They take that man advantage. And the bomb, nowhere to be seen at the B-bomb site, currently resides over at long. So it was all a ruse anyway. They picked up the opener within A. It's even started, you know, you can see the KPI getting the antsy up on the A-bomb, so they're going to make the decision now to rotate Dragunov away. And this leaves Mason on his lonesome up here at A, and the worst part is he's playing the cubby. They should check this. Luckily enough, Dragunov's going to come back up.
Molotov going down, he goes for the peak, 1-for-1 trade. Six is straight on there to Mason. Get the smoke down as well, but RPK coming in with that frag. Takes the head clean off Dragunov, and now it's 2v4. Happy on low HP, but at this point I'm pretty sure that, well, they get the frag on Happy. That's a low HP player, but still, this is a very hard situation. 2v3, post-plant retake, only a kid on Don Q. No smoke for the defuse either. This is a bit of a gamble here if they want to go for it. It's definitely not a high percentage round.
Alex has grabbed himself an AK, going to drop out RPK, and now he's going to turn his attention behind. Sixers coming in, and Alex could make all the difference. Down goes Scream within the site. Sixers relegated down to the tech, but he's going to go ahead and watch this with the AWP. The defuse about to come in. They have the kit. It's being defused. Sixer lines it up and drops him, and now this should be his round. Pop flash out. Assures that he's not on the defuse, and Sixer has won this one out for Envy. Alex gonna fall to the bomb to add insult to injury, and EnVyUs soldier on forward with a fourth. The 1v2 clutch from Sixer prevails.
That's what I was talking about with that smoke. Coming in, retaking the bomb site like that 2v3, yes, you can get the frags, but you also have to defuse the bomb. Only one of the players has a kit, goes for the defuse, but he doesn't have a smoke to cover it up because it was planted for short, it was planted for Sixer, and the whole like kind of setup for that post plant was for him to get into that position with the 8 AP. And it's kind of like when you have two Molotovs on a T on trainers planet B, there's nothing you can do as the CT. You don't know that, but the round is already over. This is almost kind of like the same. If you have that smoke, it's possible, but Sixer literally has to miss shots for you to be able to get that round. And usually Sixer does not miss shots.
Speaking of not missing shots,
yeah,
Don Q can open this one up, dropping out RPK, but okay, I was going to say Happy should be able to find an equalizer, but Mason's quick to finish him off, and right now, short on the B-bomb site, just overrun with the Spaniards. Scream, okay. There you go, that was good. XMS is pushed up through long. He's now residing in the B-bomb site, and actually, KPI have tried to be smart. The only issue is they might have played themselves here, as XMS is scouted out B, and he's going to quickly reveal it doesn't like as many players here. He hears one over towards short, but he spots the head. He knows where he is. Smoke's going to go down to render any lurking short players useless. Alex then falls within the site. A Scream is quick to deal with him. Don Q with his mystery Deeg over here towards Graffiti. Wants to try and claim some more lives with that Deagle. Sixer in with the AWP, as you said, the man who doesn't miss, apparently not even through plywood, as down it goes Mason. He wants to try and get a little bit more work done. Don Q with the deadly D, going to be holding the angle, and Sixer just locking it down. Who wins in this engagement? Sixer. Envy in with a fifth.
Really nice, once again from Sixer, and that's what they need. They need an AWP they can count on to be consistent and hitting those shots time and time again. I think that's very important in the current meta. Also with the way that all of the top teams are actually running double up setups, especially on the CT side, you need to have that main AWP who you can always count on hitting the shots every single time. And right now, Six is doing that. And when he does that, I think that's one of the win conditions for EnVyUs, even on their opponent's map pick. Grinding it back now. 4 rounds in a row for EnVyUs.
KPI this time have gone aggressive down short, and they've actually been able to get control early on. Now, they have to do something with this information. They're going to try and take control of Connector, but all it means is that Juggernaut's about now been caught out in the open. He has done damage onto RPK. And now that they actually know he's there, they could go for the frag, but all it's done is the opposite. It's forced EnVyUs' hand away from the B-bomb site for the time being. Mason's boosted up. The Molotov's going to force them out of the boost and out of position. No one there to capitalize on it, though, from Envy. And now, once again, they're going to turn their attention out towards long. I never like this aggression. Mason going to try and take it. There are 3 players here. Might be able to get the one up on flower beds. The screen finishes off Moppers. He only gets 1. The trade comes in, and you're so reliant on your player within the site in that location. Him falling first means that Moppers is as good as dead. Now the man advantage resides with the Frenchman. Bombs rotating back to B, and that's because Happy has got the information that the players rotated off. There's only 1 man in the site, and that is Alex.
Let's have a look. If Alex can make it happen. Pretty much 1v2 for now, and will be 1v4 later. But let's see if he can win the initial duel. Smoke goes down. 1 player coming in towards short. Not really the best smoke in the world. Allows for him to get 1. Knows there's a second one nearby, but it's going to be Happy taking him out. Donkey and Dragunov both remaining, and Happy has it all under control. He's using that smoke to his own advantage now. Maybe that was the plan all along.
Yeah, they might try and employ the boost here, given that there are 2... No, okay, never mind. Forget I said anything. They're going to go ahead and retreat. Opt to play this one safe. Don't want to risk throwing any rifles away. They can also keep the AWP up on Drug. Now, right now, has had a very lackluster performance, I think. I mean, he's someone who I really think we need to see step up to rival the likes of Sixer, who's looked fantastic with the AWP for Envy. And he has just been absent. Now, admittedly, we haven't really seen him with the AWP as much as we'd like. And a lot of the times we've seen him using the AWP in the retakes. But then, to me, that suggests that maybe we should see him try and take things a little bit more aggressively with the AWP. You know, see if they can actually put it to use. Because later on in the rounds, having it in the retakes is useless to KPI. They are really struggling putting that to good use.
And that's what Pim said as well on the desk. Like, Dragunov was the player he was looking for to step up. If he did not step up, KPI would have a very hard time. Also, when they played on Train on the first day of this event, Dragunov was one of the players who really had a good game, and that was one of the main reasons for KPI being able to take that 16-14 Train win. But one thing that I would like to note as well is that it's very nice to play with confidence when you're up against a better opponent than yourself, at least skill-wise or aim-wise. But if you play that aggressive as we saw towards the long A, where they just push up 2 guys in angles where you shouldn't really push up, especially not up against a team like EnVyUs, that's just too much confidence. They need to dial that back down a bit and play a bit more conservatively, find that like golden balance between being aggressive and being defensive, and just really having the timing as well, because right now it's a bit off key. And that's what they're talking about right now. Of course, that can't really lip read Spanish, but I'm guessing this is something like they want to fix the problems that they know is going on right now within the team, because they're still 4-6. There's not a terrible scoreline yet. They can still come back. But we have to think about the fact that it's been 5 straight rounds for EnVyUs since a good start from KPI, and that's not really the perfect scenario, is it?
Yeah, as you said, I mean, Envy winning the last 5 consecutively does speak volumes. It was great that KPI stole the EnVyUs' anti-eco out from under their feet on the back of that forced buy in round 2. Since then, we saw them win the subsequent conversions, which is exactly what you would expect. And then they won 1 rifle round on top of that. But, you know, other than that, they've seemed almost entirely absent in a lot of these rifle rounds. Some of them have come close, but we need to see them kind of push past that point. You know, we need to see them actually start to convert some of these rounds, especially on the CT side of Overpass, which is their map pick. Because already, Envy are 1-0 up in their series. KPI are fighting for their chance to prove themselves in front of their home crowd and actually try and win this out against Envy. As I said, this is, you know, the second time we've seen these 2 teams face each other. They already did it in the best of 1, and KPI actually bested EnVyUs the first time round.
See here, Mason. Probably going to go for connector control early on. He's actually just going to hold the corner for just a tad and then going back. Okay, so he was listening for information and then decided to go for a more defensive route. Map control being taken towards short. RPK through the wall, takes down Dragunov, and now Happy comes in.
Yeah, charging into the site. Donkey fully flashed. Happy rotating on the spot, but it's Alex to step up with the UMP. In with a hop, skip, and a jump. Trades out that ump in favor of the AWP. He's now going to be donning that. Will be the 3-on-3, and Envy, they've slowed things right down. Weren't too keen to continue just pushing against the guns inside of B. Alex, most likely going to rotate up towards Heaven. It's a location that you can rotate very, very quickly between A and B from, so it does make sense, especially with the AWP. And if he does so, this round could potentially work out here. Smoke going to go down up in Heaven. Mopos now here alone, forced out from Bowers by that Molotov. Has to try and buy time for these rotates to come in. Nade going to go out, but he's going to get caught off guard from XMS. Alex has to trade that out, and he misses the shot. Bomb now crossing into the site. It's going to be a 2v3 in the retake. The AWP up on Alex going to get removed as XMS beheads him there on that push in, leaving it on Mason, the lone A player in a 1v3, a FAMAS, a flashbang, and a smoke. It's pivotal. He at least does some damage here. Going to start to round the corner. Bomb ticking away. Player going to be holding it is XMS, who's looked on fire. Takes the third, gets the hat trick, and that is Envy just pulling away with this one.
A really good example of how well Envy plays with utilities when they do this A tight. Just coming in with the smokes and the mollies, forcing the CTs out of their positions. And then when they're trying to find a new position, the second they kind of find that position, the timed flashbang comes in. And that allows the entry into the bomb sites for EnVyUs. And when they have that position on the bomb site, they can start taking duels because aim-wise they're just a tad stronger than KPI. And they're just trying to take all these like positive things that KPI could have in a duel and just removing them. And it's working out really well. EnVyUs very structured on this T side. And it's nice to see because that was one of the things that I admired about them back in the day when they were a major winning team with Happy in the lead, the structured T sides.
Mason's already pushed up aggressively in mid. Gonna fall straight away to Scream, and that signals Drugnov to fall back. Pos and Alex, they're down and connected, but now they find themselves a little bit trapped. There are players here to contend with this. RPK waiting on the other side of the smoke. You've also got Happy waiting over at short, and this essentially means these players are trapped here. Luckily enough, they do drop out RPK. Happy gets the information as to where they both are. Drognov's maintained his position in toilets. Now, this is fantastic in terms of helping out his teammates in connector. He can allow for the rotates out, but it's meant that this A bomb site is completely ripe for the taking. There's no one on it. He's only just rotated in now, turning his attention to long. There's 3 players there. Finds the first, drops the bomb, but XMS in with the quick return. Gonna go ahead and eliminate him. And a second. Just on point with these entries. Opens up the A bomb site. Mopos is rotating in from behind. Sixer is gonna fall on the aggression. And actually, somehow it looks like they've started to almost throw this away. Happy does pull us back into a one-on-one. Stops the madness in its tracks. But the bomb down in the middle of the site. Doesn't utilize the flashes just yet. Instead, going to go for it. He's got a full utility belt that he could put to use, but Mopos, 1 bullet. All it takes is KPI go ahead and secure a 5th.
Back and forth that round. Duels coming in, refracts coming in for both teams. Almost instantly, it seemed. And now KPI grab their 5th. EnVyUs going to buy up here. And this is the round where KPI could do a lot of damage to them economically because EnVyUs are not going to have the money to do a full complete buy if KPI wins this. So this is pretty much a double round. On the other side of things, we see the economy of KPI clearly with their buy. So if EnVyUs can bounce back and get this in, then KPI will be forced into a pistol round. So very important round for the rest of this first half here. It's pretty much if EnVyUs wins this, I'm confident they'll take the rest. If KPI wins this, they'll probably be able to take the rest and bring us to round 15. Right now, the better setup is with EnVyUs. They have been good at utilizing their grenades, getting into the sites, having good executes. KPI, it's their job to stop them.
Now, EnVy have turned their attention to toilets. Drugnov's pushed up all the way over here at long, and that's players very close to him. He's got to be careful because they're going to boost up onto flower beds. They hear the smoke go down as he tries to retreat, but he's fully flashed and caught out along. XMS, the man on the entry again.
It's the same position as last time. Pushing up aggressively into an angle where you can so easily be caught out, even though you have a smoke and a flashbang. EnVyUs, they grab the frag and then they rotate back because now they have KPI in a position where they're probably going to play 2 on each bomb site. And it doesn't even matter where EnVyUs go, they're always going to be at least 3 or 4 against 2. So it's a win-win for them.
Yeah, they throw out a barrage utility into the A bomb site. They're going to send 1 man in. That's RPK is Happy. Actually, the first man on the scene in the B-bomb site goes charging on in. RPK pulls up at A. DonQ has to try and hold down the fort, but it's Alex with his UMP to try and make this one work. Scream. Okay, tapping away. Drops out Moppos, leaves this all on Mason. 1v2. Originally from A. Now rotating in through connector into the B-bomb site. Bomb timer ticking away. He's going to find himself on the clock. Does have a flash and incendiary to work with. And actually the peek about to come in from Scream does go unchecked. Luckily enough, the timing allows Mason to survive there, but they know exactly where he is now. The Molotov goes to waste in the middle of the site. Doesn't net him anything. Fake peeks the angle, but Scream drops him out, and that is EnVy picking up another round, now in with 8 on their T side.
The max amount of money on the T side right now is 2,700 on Alex. A couple of players actually only on 1,500, so they might actually decide to go for some kind of pistol force, because it's not going to be enough anyways to do a full buy next round. And that seems to be the option for most of the players here. Of course, the one with 1,200 and 1,500 going to save a bit. This is definitely hard territory for EnVyUs or for KPI. EnVyUs definitely going to run away with this first half as it's looking right now. RPK coming in with the AK-47. Scream taking down Moppos. Scream with a double. Happy moving his way into the side. Going to surely catch one, and KPI are just being mowed down right now. Alex, the only one to answer back.
Even then, he's traded out instantly. It all falls onto Dragnov in a 1v4. Don't fancy his odds in this scenario.
Yeah, he's at 3 frags, so this has not been a good half for him. And if he can close this, of course, then he'll remember this one round, not the rest, but that is definitely not on the cards.
Gonna be pushing in. Only with the P250 and the smoke. What are you going to do with that? He's thinking. He's unsure. Has not made his mind up.
It's so hard in a position like this. Like, you know that they're going to be watching all angles. Even if you get one frag, you're going to be instantly traded. But you have to make some kind of effort.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think he minds that much right now.
Yeah, he's just going to hold the angle right now.
Yeah, looking to try and potentially grab himself an AK. Not the case. Everyone goes ahead and leaves him to party on his own. He's in the site, doesn't have a kit. They're going to hear him running around. He might be able to keep a couple of players close enough by, but there you go. The peek comes out through connector from Scream. He falls, just prolongs his death that little bit more. And now it is a night for EnVyUs.
Yeah, this is why the problem comes in, or this is where the problem comes in, because I talked about the economy of that one round, the buy round for both teams, and this is a problem. You have 2 force buys in a row, and that's going to be the last round of the first half now. They have 2 UMP-45s, and that one economy reset round just hurt KPI so badly. Put them into a position where they didn't really have the weaponry or the utility to fight back. And that's always heartbreaking when that happens.
They're just going to go aggressive in. Just push straight through the defensive smokes from KPI. Now Alex has been allowed to survive over here on barrels, but not for long. XMS finishes him off. DonQ playing in the smoke could make a big difference, but no, the impact snuffed out by XMS, and it's RPK, the tank just firing away like a railgun. Finally going to fall to Mason, but XMS finishes things off, and he's been on fire. The EnVyUs guys just showing up in a big way, and KPI falling silent even on their own map choice. Currently, we see EnVy 1 and up in the series. KPI needed this map to take us through to the next. And already, they find themselves 5 rounds behind. Heading into the T side, how do you fare their odds?
It's going to be hard when they're up against the tank with a railgun, to be honest.
Yeah.
Equipped with pistols.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah, I think this is going to be extremely hard for KPI. First of all, it seems like the EnVyUs guys are really just hitting their shots. Everyone is really working towards it. RPK, usually one of the players who is on top of the scoreboard, doesn't really need to do that much, but he's still sitting like 7 to 13. That's not terrible. XMS on the other side of things on 19 frags. They're just playing well together, very well at refragging, very well at utilizing the grenades coming in towards the side. They look very structured, which is something that we haven't seen a lot from EnVyUs in the last, like, let's say 3 to 4 months. They're not known for being structured as they were back in the day. But this is actually looking quite okay for them. Now we're going to go into the pistol, and this one pretty much decides the start of the second half.
And I mean, you can even tell that EnVyUs are feeling it, right? We actually got a picture the other day, would you believe, of Happy smiling.
Yeah, what kind of a simulation is this like? I don't even know. Someone called
this man has won majors and still looked, you know, just kind of complacent with his life. And he was smiling. But here we go, the second half, KPI. They've got themselves the raid boss on Mason. Already aggression out towards mid. And EnVy, they're trying to get a feel for things. They do go peeking out. KPI aren't too keen to go too aggressive just yet, as they slow right down, wait to see if EnVy are going to try and push the envelope anywhere.
Mason here, as you mentioned, with the raid boss set up, Tech 9 and Armor. The rest of the team equipped with 2 smokes and 2 flashbangs, and a couple of armors as well. CT side, happy going for 2 flashbangs and a kit. So only deviation there, and slowly but surely, the KPI players taking map control and edging themselves in towards that A-bomb side. One thing that I like actually is DreamHack just holding a defensive angle and only just now rotating in towards the others, making sure that EnVyUs cannot do a long flank and the early start of the round and gain information and gain a huge flank. So it's going to be the A side.
Sixer spots a man out over at long. I'm going to go ahead and flash over. Sixer will fall now. Scream left in his place. KPI still taking this very slowly, but they're lining up the utility. They're ready to go in, and as it starts to fall into the site, Scream trying to hold things up at long does take the first and the second as he taps away with the USP. Now there's players in mid. He's fully flashed. He can't see a thing. Now peeks out once his vision has been restored, and him and Happy between them managed to pick up one. Scream going to be out of ammo, desperately trying to reload and get it off in time, which he will. Rounds the corner, going to drop Mopos with that bomb, and he's still going. Makes no to get one in return, but RPK will be quick to trade that out, and EnVy in with another pistol round win. Now on 11.
Confidence on Scream right now is insane. He's literally pouncing on 2 players with that flashbang. They're both semi-flashed. He still goes for the double duel, and he wins it out. That's just perfect. Missing a couple of shots and coming back into the back of Mopos, securing that 11th round for EnVyUs, who are now going to be buying up a couple of SMGs, a scout on Sixer, KPI on the other side of things, Tech 9 train, probably towards B.
Happy with my favorite gun. Let's make this one of the kind of signatures. The MP9 does spot over, sees there's players over by short. XMS going to be the one with the more conventional SMG, the UMP over here at barrels, smoking off any potential push in from long. Going to deny that. Alex pushing up with the Tech 9, trying to find damage. Doesn't manage to connect anything just yet. KPI taking this one very slowly. Not like they were dedicated into B in the beginning, but now that as Mason starts to rotate off, over towards Park, now to long, this could signal a change in their direction. Alex as well going to duck out. And I mean, EnVy are looking unsure. They've rotated Scream off. Now there's only 3 players in the B bomb site.
KPI setting up. They still have 1 player on the long flank towards the long A, and that's Mason, but the rest, as you can see right now, situated towards the short area, towards B. And now the rotate is slowly happening through that connector. Gonna throw a couple of fake flashes over, and then rotate over towards that A-bomb side. Scream actually caught mid-rotation. He's going to be off that side. Mopos' fake is actually working out, but Sixer with the scout picks up 1. XMS with 1 as well.
Yeah, Sixer fighting for his life. Players just swarming around him. He shouldn't survive here, but saying that, no, he doesn't. Alex chiming in with 2. Bomb plot going to come on in, and Alex actually taking the angle a bit more aggressively, trying to catch these players off guard as they rotate in, but it's XMS who's now going to put a lot of pressure on him. Holding the angle. Happy just launches into the crosshair and picks that up. Don Q tapping away with the Tech 9. Going to make things tricky. Bullets going into the flesh. And XMS to finish him off. Defuse for EnVy. They get themselves a 12th, but the bomb plant for KPI gives them that little extra utility when the buy does come through.
Who else but XMS in this round here? Grabbing it back. He's on 22 to 19. Scream on 21 as well. The 2 players having a really, really nice game for the Frenchman. This time around, I should say, the economy will allow KPI to have the utility, the full utility in the next round. But this one is going to be nothing but pistols coming out of the Spanish team. Decals and Tech 9, Peter 15 there. Setting up slowly. Alex almost did that shot. Now going to see if he can find some Juan Dijk magic.
Yeah, and it seems like between them they've kind of made the decision to invest in the pistols in this one, try and do some damage. EnVy just keeping them at bay with that utility usage as the player and connector as well. This is something I haven't actually seen EnVy do on their CT side just yet. Could be an indication of things to come. Scream's the one there, but he's going to get one tapped. And actually, KPI somehow pulling this one out from the woodwork. They've been allowed to get themselves 3. Happy and XMS are all that remain. In the blink of an eye, KPI looking fantastic to try and secure themselves their round. Smoke goes down at short. KPI have the bomb and 3 players over at long. Happy boosted up. Won't be finding anything today as KPI rotates safely back through T-spawn. This
is a really nice rotate because they know that if EnVyUs go for an unconventional boost or an unconventional peak, then they will be spotted out if they rotate through connector. Alex is already safe, so they decide we have enough time. We can easily rotate through T-spawn and make sure that we keep EnVyUs guessing on what our game plan is. They know they had to spread themselves out over 2 bomb sites, 1 player in each, or play retake. So either we're going to get a site for free, or we're going to play 5v1 on a bomb site. Either way, it's great for them. Mason picks up the frag, and now XMS is on an impossible mission.
Yeah, it looks like he just flat out rejects the mission.
Yeah.
Going to make the decision to save up the UMP. Gives them a little bit more to work with into the next round. You can't imagine that KPI have left anything to chance and allowed there to be some weapons just lying around. Really, when you look at it, it's been XMS and Scream, the 2 players that are actually making this possible for Envy. XMS over a mid. There's a player there with a rifle. You kind of want that. Mason, oh, knife out. Wrong weapon of choice. Will fall. XMS drops him. He really wants to go for the rifle, and with only unarmored Spaniards lying around, it could be a possibility. XMS making it costly. Here's even more. That was a rifle drop. Pick that up and take that into the next round. He's made decent money, $1,800 on those players that were hunting him, taking a rifle out of their hands. And in all honesty, in a safe scenario in a 1v5, he actually made that very, very bad for KPI.
That was the best that EnVyUs could have hoped for, and they got that going. And there's the microphone adjustment. Always got to make sure the communication is crystal clear. But by coming out off KPI, 4 AKs, 1 AWP, full utility, absolutely everything they want. EnVyUs on the other side of things, not looking so good. 3 pistols, 2 rifles. Mopo starting things off, taking out one of the rifles. That's XMS, the star so far from EnVyUs, taken out of the equation.
Yeah, but they say when stars die, they do go supernova. So let's see if someone from Envy can pick up the pace, as that rifle has been juggled onto Scream, and if anyone would have an explosive play akin to that of a supernova, it would be him. Sixers donning a rifle of his own. Gonna pick that up from XMS's body. KPI return to this. They're just gonna look to try and fix it out towards long. Their pop flashes don't work out. They actually fully blind each other, and Sixers actually, that was a very, very minute thing, but it's allowed Sixer more than enough time to make his way up through toilet. It's going to take the peek out, spots so many players, knows he has to quickly try and retreat. There is going to be a man in mid in the form of Don Q to try and catch him off guard, but he's allowed to cross. Will be punished for that. And now they've got themselves this 2-man advantage.
Let's see, Dragunov lining up the smoke. I was about to say that he's going to be tossing that smoke over. Everyone's setting up. Pop flash coming in, taking control. Surely now they can work up towards long. Happy still holding down this angle, making sure no one is short. And this is the problem, because all the information they're getting right now is that Sixers spotted a couple of players long. They see nothing short, and they're unsure of what's going to go on. And now the push comes. This is all on RPK. Close range, near the smoke. Can he make this happen? Only gets 1.
2 rifles still remain for Envy, and Happy tapping away from mid. Somehow pulls this one back from the brink of defeat. Scream in a 1v2. Mopos is tagged down so incredibly low, he denies the bomb plant, and now there's no time left. Envy, they managed to pick this round up, a round they never should have got. It is going to be a 13th as they steal one back. Scream is looking fantastic. And now they find themselves 2 rounds away from a match and series point. Look at this, he knows there's only 1 man here because of the frag that went down earlier on over a mid. Finishes that one off, and that's Envy looking to be in the driving seat in this second half.
Instead of a supernova explosion, we got a black hole. Scream just sucking out the life of KPI, taking that round with a spray through the smoke, and the time ran out. EnVyUs grabbed another one. And now KPI in a position where they only have 2 rifles, one of them being a Galil, and then 3 players with pistol armor. Dragunov with a pistol without head armor. That's a deagle only against going up against pretty much the CT setup. The M4s gonna have a field day against him. KPI. Nice shot to start us off. Mopos opens this one up. They have to bank on that. They have to move on and get something more out of this. EnVyUs is on 13. They cannot let this one slip away.
Takes that. Spots the player out along. You can see that they're rotating more players. Ooh, Mason, you're dancing with death here. You're in a scenario you really don't want to be in. Trying to stay alive, his teammates come in swinging and they help him out in a big way. Sixer left to fight for his life, trying to hold this one back. He's going to fall to Dragon. His body goes flying. And now it all falls onto XMS in a 1v5, but he makes it a 1v4. Luckily enough, Mopos is there to pull this one back and don't give XMS any leeway into the round. That will be KPI now with a 7th. Starting to pull this back.
In a very dangerous round. Let's think about that again. Like, they get the opening frag, but still, they have 2 rifles and 3 pistols, and they're up against a decent buy from EnVyUs. If EnVyUs won that round, they would have been on 14, and KPI have pretty much forced up, meaning they would have had a pistol round after that, and then the match would technically be almost over. This time around, they do turn it. Win that 3 pistol, 2 rifle buy, force EnVyUs into a hard situation money-wise, but Scream with the aggressive M4 up at Fountain picks the first one up. That's Dragunov going down. Can he go for a second as well? He's doing the damage.
Yeah, he's tapping away. Gonna be able to get a second. Looking for the third. He's out with the USP. He's just tapping left and right. Does a load of damage. Mopos does trade that out, but it's still a 2 for 1. Massive stuff from Scream to kickstart this round. Happy's netted himself an AK. And there we go, down goes DonQ. That's the bomb out in the open as well. Mopos falls as Happy finishes this round up. Scream to open, Happy to close it out. The dream team for Envy. They go ahead and steal it straight back. And with that, the economy of KPI, while they can afford to force up into this.
They can't buy here, but the problem is, if they lose this one, they're pretty much on $0 for at least 2 of the players. So this is a big problem. EnVyUs on the verge of a victory. On the edge right now. You can smell it. KPI. Smell fear in their camp. 2 Tech 9s, 3 AKs, limited utility. What can they make of this?
Gonna be waiting over outside of B. Starting to line up some utility, going to be throwing that out. Now the push comes in, charging into the site. XMS over by Barrel's going to be the linchpin here. The one to try and keep KPI at bay. He's only got a UMP. He's going to be taking it up close, taking the fight to KPI, playing it round the pillar. And actually right now he's worth his weight in gold. He can deny this bomb plant by so much time. He's going to get railed in the back from Alex. Happy able to trade that out. RPK still within the site, trying to deny the bomb plant, but as a result goes down to DonQ. Happy falls as well. And now it's Sixer and Scream. 2v4 in this retake. Scream able to find one, but down goes Sixer within the site. And this is a tall order, even for Scream, who has looked on fire. 1v3, bomb planted. Does have a kit, but no utility to make his way back into the bomb site. Bomb timer ticking away. Scream up in heaven, and it looks like he's just going to try and play for exits here.
Definitely, he should be. Right now in an economical situation where EnVyUs, they're not going to have a full buy. And with this M4 saved, they could try and play around where they buy pistols up around that M4, as they did the last time around, where he pushed Fountain and actually kick-started a really nice round for them. So the option to save here is definitely the best one. And Scream knows that, and that's why he does it. 14-8 is going to be the scoreline. Let's see what the plan is now for EnVyUs. KPI will have AKs for everyone. What's the buy looking like? There's not a lot of money here. It's just going to be a couple of pistols around that M4, but nothing more than that. A very hard round to win for EnVyUs.
KPI have Mopos watching for the aggression in connector. DonQ's here as well, as XMS's little idea should be put to bed. Actually going to make the decision to fall on back. 2 players pushing him. Has Dragunov coming on in to try and help out. Holding this forward position on B is incredibly strong with these pistols. It does, you know, kind of lock KPI's options off. Instead, they'd have to try and grab controller connector, and that's what Happy's there for. Joined up with Scream. They've essentially isolated any opportunity for KPI to go B. But in response to that, KPI going to try and hit the A bomb site up.
Slowly but surely making their way in here. Duel incoming. Scream. Just going to win it out. Mopos goes down. Happy. Hunting for that AK, rotating back towards the side, but they're pushing incoming towards that A bomb site right now. 2 CTs on short, but they're not going to be able to stop this. The bomb is definitely going to go into the site. The question is, do they have enough time to get it planted? Sixer to deny that will fail.
Yeah, he's going to fall within 8. Mason's already gone aggressive. Happy discovers that as he rounds the corner. Down goes Scream as well, as EnVy just going to start to get executed one by one, and the bomb isn't even down yet. RPK and XMS with the PT-50 is all that remain. Make that just RPK.
And he's looking to get an AK or any kind of weaponry and save it, but he's not going to be allowed to. It's going to be around number 23 gone and 24 beginning, 9:14. You can hear the crowd. They're excited.
I mean, you know, this has gone from being a bit of a kind of, you know, upsetting display from KPI to one that they've started to pull back, and there is hope in the KPI camp. It is going to be rifles for them in this round. EnVy have just got pistols to work with. It's going to consist of some Deags and some PT-50s, a nice bit of utility to back that up as well.
I like the buy here coming in from EnVyUs.
Mason's already up, but when you look in mid, you can see Screams there, caught unaware at the fountain. Mason fighting for his life, but Long is not a safe haven. Happy does drop him out. They turn this into a 4-4. Alone with him B is XMS on this Deag. Players making their way in now from KPI, and XMS trying to hold the fort, gets caught in the crossfire. DonQ going to drop him out, and Dragunov stepping up in connector, finds himself 2, trying to get a 3rd. Happy's there doing damage, and Dragunov left fighting for his life. The teammates rotating in to help out, secure his fate. And Happy left in the 1v4, just going to make the decision to save this AK that they have been able to grab off of Mason.
The reason why a small pistol buy is really good here for EnVyUs is because technically they could have forced into this round. They decide not to do that because they know they're on 14. KPI only on 9, so they can afford to like pretty much throw away a round in order to get the perfect buy in the next one. If they can get, probably they don't want to double up, but they can get perfect utility at every single player. They can get that AWP on Sixer, and they can get the perfect setup because right now all they need is 2 rounds. And one of them could just break the confidence in the KPI, and then the next one will be the one with the win. But right now it's KPI getting rounds. Let's see what's the plan here for EnVyUs. What's the buy going to be like? Round number 25 out of 30. Could we go the full distance as last time these two teams played? Not in the first one. That was pretty one-sided. But the last time they played, when it was close, that was 16-14. 1-up coming in at Sixer. And almost full utility for all CT players here. They do have the Molotov, 3 of them. Only 1 kill on Happy, though. That could be a problem in the end.
Quick connector control going to be grabbed by KPI. They make this a point. EnVy have tried keeping controller connector in these last couple of rounds, and this time KPI ruled that out straight away. Gonna leave DonQ over here to watch Long as well. Bomb dropped across to Mopos, looking like they want to try and make something happen out towards A. Alex waiting to see if he can spot anything, which he will, but this time does not connect the shot, so Happy allowed to survive another day within that B bomb site.
Setup right now for KPI, slowly taking map control. DonQ is the one making some noise towards B, while the rest of the team setting up towards that A push. They have the utility.
Six is the one watching Long. Smoke goes down. Will force him back, and this actually makes things difficult for Scream, so he's going to push through the smoke so he can help out. Scream doesn't need it, though, as he eliminates Mason. And now the rest of the team, KPI, trying to push on in and making their way up through mid. Six of the man to peek out with the AWP, looking like they might even try and attempt to boost. They could do, but he's going to get caught out in the open. What was that? Alex just walked straight on by, not communicating properly, and Scream's in the cubby, locking this one down, making it near on impossible. DonQ does do damage, gets himself 1. The fake defuse prime there, but DonQ's been allowed to work his way back into the site. Thinks he's got it, but XMS finishes him off. The defuse to come in, and EnVy, they will arrive at map and series point, 15-10 in their favor on Overpass.
They waited, to have that buy they wanted, and the second they got that buy, took the round in, and now they're on 15. They're on match point, map and match point. If they win this one, it's going to be a 2-0 for the Frenchmen. KPI buying everything they have. They have decent economy, so they can do a full buy here. That's not going to be the reason why they're losing this game. If they lose it, it's going to be all down to the individual actions and the team strategy. Sixer once again with the AWP. Scream going in for connector control. Molotov to kind of take away the opportunity for KPI to take control short on water. Hopping to check that, and now they know Alex is making his way in.
And EnVy are very, very good at stopping KPI from doing anything quickly. You can see they go into this with a lot of momentum, a lot of aggression. They had everyone over towards the B-bomb site almost, with players in connector. And just those Molotovs going down, the smokes as well, completely negate that initial momentum we saw KPI have. And the aggression's been completely shut down, and now they've had a change of heart. They still look to be a fan of their old flame, though, the B-bomb site. Rotating everyone back round. Plenty of time left if they do want to change their minds. They have a lot of utility to go for this play. And now they're just going to be waiting. This round could well be their last if they don't. Well, it will be their last if they don't pick it up. Happy looking to do damage. Does find something, but not too much. The push going to be coming in, but it's XMS up in the corner. Doesn't matter. RPK takes two. The trades do come in, but it's still in the favor of EnVy. One man still stands within the site. It's all that's between KPI and getting this bomb down. Happy just hiding, keeping himself covered. Waiting for his teammates to rotate in, but just him being here delays that bomb plant so much. Moppa's caught out in the open. It falls onto Alex. Close on the site. He is going to go down. Happy picks it up, and EnVyUs will win out this series in a 2-0 fashion. 16-10 on Overpass after beating KPI 16-3 on Cobblestone about an hour ago now. So there we go, 2-0. EnVyUs, they'll be the team heading on through to the semis. Fantastic showing from them. KPI, you got to hand it to them though. For a team that, I think a lot of people coming into this probably hadn't heard of, they have done some fantastic stuff. Even now, looking at Overpass, 10 rounds against EnVyUs, a team which has major winners in it, a team which has players that have been around for years. It's just fantastic. Surely,
this, of course, great showing from EnVyUs right now, but we have to commiserations and also give thanks to KPI because they put up a game. They showed potential. It just wasn't enough to beat EnVyUs today, and EnVyUs will be happy, as you said, to move into the semi-finals where they'll be joining teams like Heroic and NIP.
Yeah, it was fantastic stuff. And I'm sure they're very, very happy with it. We saw them get off to a bit of a rocky start. Some problems here and there, but it was quickly remedied. And they are looking reinvigorated, if I do say so myself.
Definitely. And the players who had kind of troubles coming into this tournament are definitely stepping up. We see Happy getting facts. We see Sixer with the AWP being very consistent. Scream, of course, that's always pretty good. And then RPK, the tank, who's come in to the last year and a half, I think, just gradually getting better and better individually. And if that all comes together, I think they have a legit chance of doing very well in the semifinals, whoever they go up against.
Yeah, no, that will be definitely exciting to see. Closing thoughts then on your opinions on what went on. What we saw from EnVy, what we saw from KPI.
Yeah, I think it was a really good game, but apart of what I'm supposed to say, not my thoughts. That's not what we want to hear. What we want to hear is an interview from the guy on stage. That's done it.
Hey, thank you guys. I'm standing here on the stage with Scream right now. This guy was one of two people, definitely alongside of three others, putting in work there against KPI. How did it feel playing against this KPI team who, took a W against you on the first day?
Yeah, I mean, revenge always feels amazing, and they played good on the first game, from the first day, and we didn't play good. So we really wanted to get revenge on that game, and we did, and I'm really happy, and I'm sorry for Spain, but it happened.
Well, they're definitely an up-and-coming team. What is it saying alongside EnVyUs going forward in this tournament now that you guys move forward?
I think it's our first semi-final at the event, so it feels amazing. We know we're going to play NIP, so it's going to be really tough. They look really strong lately, so we're going to try to play our A game, because if we don't, we're just going to get wrecked.
You never want to get wrecked, is that right?
No.
All right, well, I believe our boys at the desk are standing by to break this one down for you guys at home.
Thank you very much, guys. It's very true. No one wants to get wrecked, really, so it's understandable as far as I'm concerned. A very convincing win there from EnVyUs. What we all expected, right?
But yeah, no, kind of.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I did actually. I just wanted to back my Spanish boys.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but
No,
yeah.
but in many ways it was more or less order restored in that way. This was kind of more the result we expected to see in the first game, on day one. And we finally got to see a bit more of EnVyUs playing up to the level that EnVyUs has shown. So, yeah, no, I think you got to give credit to the Spanish team as well for actually putting up an effort. Not so much on Cobble, obviously. That was a bit of a rough game, but they don't necessarily play the map all that much. But on Overpass, without winning a single pistol, still managed to get 10 rounds. That does count for something. And again, this is more about them getting game experience, which is much better teams than what they normally do.
Yeah.
So overall, I would qualify this as a successful event for them in that sense.
What in Overpass, because we should talk about it a little bit. What do you think it did come down to the fact that they hadn't anti-stratted Envy as much as they possibly had done on other maps, or was it just that Envy turned up? What happened there?
I think it was a combination of pretty much everything you just said there. Like Envy was playing definitely better than it did yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
KPI maybe not having the same preparation. KPI maybe, I don't know, like it's just a combination. And like Vanessa said, we got to see what we expected. EnVyUs team, who are by far the superior team, both individually and should be team-wise, and they showed that in game. So, like as you said, kudos to KPI, but I don't think there's anything you can necessarily put a finger on. It was just EnVyUs playing up to their potential, and KPI simply not able as of now, not before 2018, where they're going to be at the major, right?
Yeah,
they will win a major at 2018.
Exactly. They still have a year to go there, but for now, like EnVyUs is just them superior.
Yeah, I think that probably the only thing you could harp on them for is you mentioned the fact that Dragunov had to have a bigger impact if they wanted to actually get away with the map win here, and with how EnVyUs plays Overpass, that was their golden opportunity. We didn't get to see too much of the aggressive hopping picks work out for them too well, but that's partly because of the economy gets out of hand when you're on the CT side. But we didn't get to see that many opportunities taken or attempted really by the Spanish team, as you might have would have liked to see when you're an underdog. You might want to have to take more risks than you would otherwise. So that if there's anything to kind of fault them for, that would be it.
Yeah, as we sadly have to say goodbye to KPI now, what can they learn from this in terms of, like, this is one of the first times that we were talking about that they're going to have been on a stage like this. What learnings do you think that they can take away from this now and work on?
Well, all experience.
So that they can win the major.
Yeah. So they can win the major, They need experience, and they gained a little bit of experience here. And they gained, I'd say, like a positive vibe as well, Playing in front of your home crowd and winning against EnVyUs the first day, that's something most of these guys probably going to remember the rest of their life, when they sit and they're like grandparents and they tell their grandchild in like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I won against EnVyUs on stage. Exactly, a little bit early. But still, like, you gain experience, and it's like, I feel as a player, I feel I can see them, they go here obviously disappointed, never fun to lose, but still with a positive vibe inside them, And again, like, experience is just so important when you're on stages like this, You need experience, you need obviously the level as well to play here, so it gives them a little bit of blood on the teeth, and hopefully they'll just keep on going when they get back home.
Yeah, Ven, were there any standout players on KPI for you that you think could?
Well, I mean, out of the ones that I expected, I guess Alex did have a couple of good games. That again, it's nice to see that he's able to do that versus better players as well. The one that surprised me the most, honestly, was Mopos.
Yeah. Well, he surprised you because he pops up from behind all the time.
Well, yeah,
kind of surprised everybody in the game.
But yeah, no, Mopos was surprising in the sense that he was the one I heard the least of going into this out of the 5 people on that squad. So to see him actually being one of the standout players was a positive experience, or a surprise for that matter. So could be cool to see if they can continue on that trend and get better.
Yeah, cool. Let's have a quick look at the groups as they stand right now. Then we do have our 2 first semi-finalists, as these guys, Envy, go up against NiP. This is how they have made it there. You can see that EnVyUs have just beaten KPI Gaming, but as we go towards the beginning of Group A, KPI lost. I mean, what beat them earlier on, but they made it all the way through. So actually, that's something they're not going to want to remember anytime soon. They're going to look to the future. And here's Group B, CLG and Red Reserve are what is coming up next.
They get the prize of playing versus Heroic if they do win that matchup. And we could already see that NIP are waiting for EnVyUs in the semifinals, which should make for a pretty fun best-of-3 series.
Yeah, I think that's a nice thing to quickly touch on then before we go to a break is the fact that EnVy are now against NIP, and that's going to be a hell of a match. What can we expect from that in brief terms?
I feel like in general, EnVyUs tend to perform better against better team. We saw that in the qualifier for DreamHack Malmö. They beat Heroic, and they can't remember who they beat in the final, but like they were great teams, and they were playing well against them. For some reason, that's just like how EnVyUs is. Whenever there's more on stake, and whenever like they face a better opponent, they tend to step their game up and play better. And the fact that we saw EnVyUs right now play well, I'd say, like for the first time in this tournament, they can be proud of themselves, like clap each other on the shoulder and actually be proud, you know, because they couldn't after the first win. Gives me hope that they can actually put up a great fight against the NIP that so far has been looking like strong.
Yeah, no, it should make for a fun match. I'm just hoping that we're going to see, you know, what we saw in this best-of-3 of EnVyUs being taken over into tomorrow instead of having day one EnVyUs show up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your insight. We are going to go to a quick break, but remember, what you can do in this break before we go into the last match of the day is take a look at the Strafe esports app. This is an app where you can find out everything about this tournament, all of the players, all of the teams, all of the stats, everything that's happening here, but not only here, everywhere in esports, Counter-Strike, all of the other games that are happening here in Valencia. If you want to catch up with your favorite players, favorite teams, that is a great place to do it, so check it out. And we have a short video now to show you a little bit more about that app.